peeps. Happy Sunday. We're gonna cut our cake. And I'm thinking I should probably cook something else to eat. That way I don't, you know, not eat anything besides cake today. Which I've done before and have not felt good after, because as much as it is a part of a balanced diet, it is not all of a balanced diet. So I'm gonna pop out the chat and we'll think about what to cook after we slice into the cake. This will be a short live because I'm trying to get more video editing done, and also I'm still not feeling great. I just went out to walk Grandma. We went to the farmer's market in Jackson Heights and I got myself some apples. It's my weekly treat of sorts. I got 7 apples for $6.75, so about $1 each. These are Gold Rush apples from Maynard Farms. I do love their apples so very much, and the Gold Rush apples are nicely crunchy and tart and watery, and maybe I'll eat one now actually. Should we eat one now? I want to eat one now. I promise you we'll get to the cake, but my body's like, feed me an apple now. I'm sorry you got awful news yesterday. Which one? Which one will I eat? Who wants to go first? You. Okay. I'm good. I'm alive. Kind of. I think we're gonna have to cook some sort of pulse, like lentils. I'm feeling lentil-y today. I feel like I want some lentils. Keep it easy. Maybe we'll use some of our spices. But I need to eat so I can take my antibiotics. It's morbid time. I actually don't really know that reference beyond the fact that it's turned into a meme of sorts. Are you ready? Are you ready for the crunch? It has a cute little dimply bit that looks almost like a bruise, but it's not a bruise. Okay, I'm looking for the right crunch entry point. I think this. It's like perfectly bulbous. That's a good apple. This has been outside all night. You can see it's relieved itself from the edges. I do believe it is a perfect bake. Rice with zucchini mush and better than bouillon. Sounds great. Sounds nutritious. I can smell the guava. Guava smells amazing. How shall we, oh my God. It's gonna be the best bite ever. Okay. That's rough. How's he doing? How's your brother doing? Yes, this is the peach cake. Indeed. Let me see where I want my first slice to be. I think I want it here. wipe your knife clean, you'll have a clean slice. And while I'm not about presentation most days, today I feel a little bit like a treat myself day. What a lovely slice motion. I wish I had a cake server, but I don't. So we're just going to do our best to lift it out in one piece. Okay? You got jujubes? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. They are a wonderful food. I do love them so very much. But a lot of people aren't used to eating them, so. Did I ever show you these plates that I got from the Salvation Army? I love them so much. They're Japan made. And when I went, it was Earth Day, so Salvation Army was having half off. So I got 2 of these and 2 bigger ones that match these, all for like $1 each, and it just made my day. Feels sturdy, but also light, and it's so clean, and the aesthetic is so pleasing and simple to me. It almost feels like Malamine hospital wear, but like not. I don't think we're gonna get a clean lift, unfortunately, because of the peaches on the bottom, but I also think I made my slice too big. Whoops. I think it's a 2-fork operation. I love this fork too. I think this fork matches this plate's aesthetic. It's clean, streamlined, simple, and almost very kid-like. And this fork, they're all thrifted forks, is also just very pretty because, well, you can't see it because the peach is hiding it, so. You see that tine? I love that tine. Wow. That is, that is a good peach. It tastes like canned peaches with roses. Like canned peaches in their own fruit juice with a little bit of syrup with like rose petals, fresh rose petals. So this is our upside down cake with peaches on the bottom, with pear butter in the middle, with cornmeal and almond meal, with pecan cream cheese and guava paste on top. And we put some rosemary in there as well as ginger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get a slice with everything. Wow, there's a rosemary right there. I don't know if you can see that green speck in the middle of that bite. And it is gluten-free, so that's why it's a little bit crumbly. And it's also why I kept it in the tin overnight, because I wanted everything to kind of hydrate. So it's kind of like an almond cornbread, I guess. It smells so coconutty and delightfully fruit punchy almost. Wow. It's got a gritty texture from the cornmeal, as expected. The flavor, though, is so good. The flavor is delightful. It tastes like a boutique jam cake that involved flowers and fresh summer fruit, and they sell it to you in this hexagonal clear jar with a golden lid and some embellishment in a sticker that tells you this is worth $24 for that tiny 8-ounce jar. The fresh fruit, this peach, it adds a almost like tender, what is this texture? Jammy, tender texture that's still very wholesome. Like, you can tell it's fruit. It holds a little bit of its original moisture, and so when you eat it with that kind of crumbly meal cake texture, it pulls it together so that it doesn't feel like, oh my god, I forgot we have jujubes in here. Here's a jujube bite. There's variety in the texture. None of it is like bothersome, but if you don't like that cornbready, chunky, soft grittiness of it, you probably won't love this cake. But I would say pear, peach, almond, ginger, rosemary, guava is an amazing combination. Wow. That's really good. I'm happy we made it. I delight and rejoice in this experiment. I'm going to describe this as like almost like a cornbread pudding. Like a bread pudding, but cornbread pudding. I will tell you this, I love my new kitchen, but the old kitchen had way better natural lighting. This kitchen's lighting is definitely not as supple as the last place. I did make this cake. It was on yesterday's live, yes. And yes, this does feel a little bit like an olive oil cake. Right. But it's not as smooth as most olive oil cakes textures as I've had in the past. I would say the sweetness level is right on for a bakery, which is about 15 to 20% more sweet than I would want to make for myself. But I think if I were to serve it to friends, American friends, who are used to American desserts, this is a perfect sweetness level. It's bordering on just too sweet, where you want a drink of milk or tea or coffee after about 3 bites, but it's not too sweet where you're like, I can feel cavities and a cough coming on. Does that make sense? Let's eat our antibiotics. Let's get some water in my system. That sounds amazing. Banana bread with soft chocolate, some nuts, blueberries with a ball of smooth vanilla ice cream. Girl, sell it. I have all these random piecemeal notes of crazy food ideas that I've collected over the years, sometimes sober, sometimes high. And I've been thinking maybe I should make a video series of me actually trying to make them. Oh, excuse me for my burpy burps. We only have, after this dose, 2 pills left, which means I am getting closer and closer to not having to remember to take pills twice a day. Cheers to drug cocktails. All right, let's make a quick meal. You know what I need to buy? I need to buy a clear glass plate so I can use it as a lid for cake pans in the fridge. Will you fit? Will this fit? Let's play a game of Will You Fit? Oh my god! You will fit! Kind of. It's not a perfect fit, but it's pretty good. Let's continue our mission of getting rid of all these condiments that I have in my fridge that I need to not be here anymore because there's just like a little bit left of everything. Bonus points if I can free up glass jars too. So, here's what I got. I have some roasted garlic. I have half a cut onion that I would like to use. I have some ginger, which, yes, let's use ginger because more ginger in my diet is good right now. I actually spoke to my aunt who lives in Beijing about my extreme period pains yesterday, and she was like, you should drink red sugar ginger soup. And I was like, I did drink ginger. I thought it would help with the pain. And she was like, actually, ginger soup doesn't help with pain. It just helps you, like, slough off your uterine wall faster. And I was like, oh, huh. I don't know if that helped my pain. I feel a desire to eat green peas, but I did not soak these. So we're just going to get them boiling now, actually, and then after we boil the green peas we can think about other things, but let's get them boiling now. Or maybe I should use the Instant Pot. Let's use the Instant Pot. That's gonna take forever. But we can cook the rest of the condiments while this cooks, maybe. I just feel like with green peas, if I didn't soak them beforehand, they always turn out a little bit too hard for my liking. And I don't like hard green peas. I like them mushy. I like my mushy peas mushy. So we're just gonna rinse. I too love the second counter space a lot, yes. Oh my god, the OG Budget Eats shot on my cell phone. Shout out to the Pixel 2 XL, the same phone that we're shooting on now for the live. I am feeling a little bit better today. Anything would be better than that pain, honestly. I was telling a friend yesterday that I wish I could harness that pain and unleash it upon my worst enemies. And he was like, which enemies? And I was like, I have one in mind. But even then, I would not subject them to 40 minutes of it. I would start off with 7 to 8. I don't think I peeled off the sticker yet. I'm leaving it on. Mom would leave it on. Is it just Asian folks who do this? Like, we never peel the sticker off of new things. It peeves Aaron off so much that I don't peel shit off. Like this. Here's a treat. Here's a treat if Aaron watches this live. Here, Aaron, here's a treat for you. Peel porn. Okay. Amsterdam chips. Yes, they are so tasty indeed. I don't really eat red meat, period. I very rarely eat red meat, but that's good to know. I would imagine that you're supposed to eat some red meat for the iron, no? But okay, out of the people who say they never peel off stickers, are you Asian? I wish I had more vegetables in my house. It is extra protection. I totally agree, it's extra protection. Okay. Let's cook our condiment then for the peas. Oh my god, Leonora. That is hilarious. You are a Caucasian. How much is the Vitamix at 50% off? Fred lives with Aaron now. Fred doesn't live with me, I'm sorry. No more cat content, for the most part. Hi, Grease. $2.79 is pretty good. With this inflation, I might get myself a little cat. I've been thinking about it. But I'm also still not ready yet. I gotta wait until I'm ready, guys. I just gotta know a little bit more about my life first, you know? It's a little hard. It's a little hard to know about where my life is right now. I'm still thinking about a lot of things. There's still a lot of parts that are settling into place that I'm trying on right now that I don't know if I like. And I think if I want to take in a pet, I want to be sure that I'm not stressing myself out, that it's bringing me joy, so that I can provide a home for the animal that is also comfortable and safe for them. I need to make sure that I feel secure in myself before I introduce other elements of living being into this formula. Because the last thing I want is to hold any sort of resentment towards a living being that had no fault. So, those are my thoughts. People keep asking me if I would take another pet in. I would, but not now, is my answer. I did used to love orange cats, but now I think I'm moving towards like torties too. I know they have a reputation for being absolute bitches, which I kind of love. I'm in my bitch phase, you know? Get close for the oil drop. I have to say, I love the spoon that Mom left behind. It's like the perfect cooking spoon. It works for everything. or days were created equal. So it really depends on a number of factors. We're going to add in the rest of this Samjaan that expired in 2020, October 18. This will be our salt in our condiment sauce for the peas. And then hopefully we'll have a new jar. A friend told me that anything above 2 cats makes you an automatic cat lady. So my question is, can a man be a cat lady too? Is cat lady actually a term that is being detached from genderism? I think we should start calling men cat ladies too, you know? I think we should start deconstructing gender constructs and labeling by applying terms to people of all genders, despite what they identify as. I think that is one way to take the power out of stereotypes. That's kind of why I call everyone dudes and girl, because I don't give a shit what you identify as. I'm using this as a term that is decoupled from the gender origins that it came from. And I think when I was in my 20s and I did that to people that I like went on dating apps, like chatted through dating apps with, they were like really disoriented. They were like, why are you calling me a girl? They were not woke yet. Yeah, is there a male equivalent of Karen? I wonder. Kevin doesn't hit. I've never heard Kevin used in that way. Karen who ruined it for all Karens. Do we know the origin of calling a racist white lady Karen? It is very unfair and unfortunate. I've met very many lovely Karens on these live streams. I'm so sorry you guys have that association with your name now. Imagine if June became an association of some poor behavior pattern. I would be pissed because I never liked the name to begin with. you know you have too many jars when they start falling out of your cupboard and or your partner is making semi-serious comments about going crazy and or leaving you. If your jars are so numerous and you have no friends to give them away to, like with food gifts inside, and you're not rotating through 65% of them on a regular basis, then you have too many. It is time to think about what to do with them. That was ginger. Huh. Interesting. The Mean Girls character as the origin of the name? Fascinating. If you, Aaron, and Fred do videos together, your views would probably quadruple. It's not really entirely true because I did a vlog with Aaron and Fred in it. Didn't have that many views. I'm sure if we were like presenting a series where we were all living together again, people would be interested because that was the original persona that was put forth in Budget Eats, right? That was an organic development of life. But unfortunately, my current organic development of life is somewhat more depressing. So I can see why the viewership has dropped, along with the attitude changes and my personal philosophies being not entirely pleasant or bright or optimistic. I think there's all sorts of reasons for why I don't have as many views. And I think I've given a lot of thought about this, and I'm trying to also decouple my brain and motivation from views and metrics. So I have this on a very low heat. We're gonna add in some roasted garlic now. I did not know that history about Boma men. Can somebody fact check that? Who's excited for the presidential election cycle to begin? We should just look at it as entertainment now. Don't think about it as politics that actually affects our lives because, spoiler alert, you don't actually have control over your lives. It's just entertainment now. Yeah, I am depressing. How long did it take you to come to that realization? Why do you think I'm not getting views, guys? Hi, Kimberly. The truth doesn't have to be depressing. I think the truth is only really depressing when you keep hoping for it to not be this way. I think once you accept it, it no longer becomes depressing, it just is, right? So, every day I fluctuate between being depressed and accepting my reality. And the further I can attune myself into acceptance, the less depressing things become. Even if they might be objectively depressing, which is to say unideal, it doesn't have to be subjectively depressing for me, because life is unideal. And can you imagine if life were always ideal? I feel like even rich people don't have 100% ideal lives, you know? Even if they have all the basic needs fulfilled, they probably still have very depressing things going on in their lives. Damn! I'm sorry your mom passed away. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Social media is a tricky thing. You have to chase an element of fame, and that is hard to navigate. Yeah, I'm not really trying to chase that fame anymore. I think a part of me superficially was trying to think I wasn't chasing fame, but I think deep down inside I was trying to start chasing my own fame, but it took me, half a year, a little over half a year to realize that that's not really going to be fulfilling or sustainable for me in the long run. And I think this month I've realized that I truly just want this to be a hobby and not as my main stronghold in life. And I'm starting to let go of that desire of quote unquote chasing internet fame. And I think that's a healthy move for me. I don't actually think it's just me being the fox in Aesop's tales who couldn't reach the grapes and is now trying to comfort himself about how he didn't want the grapes. I mean, a part of it is, right? It has to be. I have to comfort myself. But I think a large part of it is me just realizing that I'm imagining it to have been this thing that it wouldn't really have been the way I imagined it. I think we always imagine something to be a bit of a fairy tale. These are the roasted garlics that I chopped. I think we always imagine things to be a bit of a fairy tale, but when they actually come true in the way that they manifest in reality, they won't really feel like what you imagine them to be. Unfortunately, in the United States, the primaries are way more important than the actual election. The general election that happens to determine who the president is really is the primaries, because we have a two-party system. So if you don't win the primaries, it doesn't really matter, because you won't really have a choice. So we really have to do a better job of mobilizing voters during the primaries more than anything. But I also think that politics is about engagement at all levels, and unfortunately we just don't have a political system and a social system that guarantees enough security in terms of finance and health benefits and safety guardrails for most citizens to kind of avail us to participate in government in the way that we should in order to have actual democracy. We don't currently have a democracy, we just have the acts, the superficial structure of a democracy. At its core, we don't have a government that speaks for the people. question. I would love to know, does anyone have a government that speaks for the people? I'm not sure. And I mean, it could be because it was our first time around with ranked voting, but our mayoral election in New York was ranked and we still ended up with Eric fucking Adams. So I don't think the problem is the way we count votes. I think the problem is education around elections and candidates and the money that goes into these elections, who's funding them. Like, it's Bernie's whole shtick, right? The money that goes into politics is money coming from people who control the power and want to continue controlling the power already. That's who runs the government. It's not about who you elect into office, it's about who's behind those people that get elected into the office. What their motivations are for electing this person into office. What they plan to do with this person that they've supported financially to get into the office, and what kind of exchange going on behind the scenes in back doors that is hidden from public view. They spin PR to say we support all candidates, but obviously by supporting all candidates, you're supporting evil too. So, this smells glorious, by the way. Jammy onions with ginger and garlic and samjang. Delicious. Is this still Taurus season, or is it Gemini season now? Who knows horoscopes? Thank you. May 21st, Taurus season ends today. Guys, I just found out, because I have an Android phone, I can't do auto captioning on my Instagram Reels. They don't have that capability enabled. It's only for iOS users who have those like automatic captioning on their Reels that pops up on screen. That sucks. Instagram sucks, bro. Hate it. They're so prejudiced against Android users. Let's see what else is in my cupboard. Some anchovies. Lovely. This salt that my friend Charlie got for me from Chile. It's not salt, actually. I think it's like for a sofrito. Oregano, onion, pimenton, garlic, cumin. What is tomillo? Does anybody know what tomillo is? Pimienta negra. Black pepper, I guess, and then bay leaf. Ooh, yum. Okay, I have a lot of good stuff in here. Guys, did I tell you when I went to a weed market that one of my farm school classmates was holding? One of the vendors there recognized me from Budget Eats, and she gifted me a free cannabis-infused olive oil. She was so sweet. She came over and she was like, "Thank you for teaching me how to make stock in the middle of the pandemic." People are so kind. People are so kind. Time. Ah, I see. Thank you. Come look at the oil bubbling. This is like the jammiest onion ever. Beautiful. I think we're done. I think this is done. And I think when I have the peas ready from the Instant Pot, I'm just going to mishmash them together, and then I can add more spices as I eat them. Ooh, you use cannabis-infused oil for cooking. Interesting. I was just thinking I might just like take a teaspoon of it when I really need it. You were hoping to run into me randomly in New York? Which borough were you in to begin with? That's hilarious. Although some people do run into me randomly, so you never know. Everything is a crapshoot in life, huh? I think depends on how you extract it. It can either have CBD or THC or both. I think that one probably has more THC, but I'm not a wizard when it comes to weed extractions to know. Honestly, I don't care. THC, CBD, I'll take it all. I need it. My Instant Pot can be turned into an air fryer with a lid. I swap out the lid, and the lid basically has the air frying mechanism. I bought the lid for about 50 bucks. It was an Amazon warehouse item. And I only bought it because I needed to do an air fryer recipe for Delish. And they were like, "We can buy you an air fryer." And I was like, I have literally no room in my kitchen anymore. Half of this shit is for my job that I've accumulated over the last 2 years. So unless you want to buy me a new apartment, please just get me a lid. This is the cake. It's good. I liked it. I mean, I go to Williamsburg sometimes. It's possible to see me in Williamsburg. I go see friends in Greenpoint. I walk through Williamsburg sometimes. I go to the Whole Foods there sometimes. I go to the Trader Joe's there sometimes. Wait. Should we drip a little oil on here? Let's not be my mom and never use the stuff. Oh, I think I have to prick it. I think I have to prick it. Or cut it? Do you guys know how to open this? Prick or cut? Cut? Prick? Chat, pull up. Tell me what to do. Cut. Oh yeah, it smells like weed. Got a little bit on my fingies. It's very oily. I mean, yeah, it's 100% oil basically. This is from NYC Butter. Shout out to NYC Butter, spelled B-U-D-D-E-R. Thank you for your gift. So apparently this has 20 milligrams per teaspoon. It contains THC. Ready? 1, 2, that's it. That is literally it. What's a bummer about ads on the live? I don't know if it's gonna hit right away, but hey, it's time to treat myself after almost dying yesterday. I didn't know they showed ads when I go live. Like, I didn't know if you watch live that they show ads. That's interesting. Guys, the weed oil, it heightens the toastiness in the nuts, which is the almond flour in here, and also, I guess, the pecans and the cream cheese. I'm sure it's not actually making anything nuttier, but I think the kind of toasty weed notes of the oil lifts the nutty notes a lot more deeply and pronounced. So it almost tastes like you baked something a little bit more golden than it looks. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it at all. I highly recommend making desserts with guava paste. At least in Queens, guava paste runs about $1.25 to $2 a package. And a pound of it will always be enough to make at least 2 batches of dessert for me. It's one of the most delightful flavored jams I've ever tasted. So, I know it's probably placebo, but I am feeling like what I feel like when I smoke right now. I barely just finished eating the cake, but what I'm feeling right now is bearing left side of my skull. There is a certain lightness that is pulling from the back of my neck, curling around the top of my skull and down to my eyebrows. This whole part feels like it's being a little bit lifted. It is not similar to Kaya because Kaya is smoother, creamier, and I would say more watery in consistency. Guava paste is more like candy-like. It's a little bit stickier. I think, so Kaya jam, I think if I smushed it, it kind of oozes out a little bit like a more solid pudding. And guava is more of a sticky caramel. I prefer smoking. Edibles can really fuck me up, which is why I only use 2 drops. I really enjoy treating myself to 1 session of hot yoga a month. It's like kind of my white girl splurge of the month. Unfortunately, it's a little too pricey for me to do it every week, but I try to go once a month. Sometimes I just like to stretch at home. So yes, it is more like quince jam, exactly. It tastes a lot like quince jam to me too. I like bocadillo, but I prefer it without the sugar. I actually don't like to eat it with hard cheese because I just like, I'm the guy who disassembles a sandwich and eats each component separately. So I'm gonna eat the cheese and the guava paste separately. When you were putting it on the cake, it looked like a relaxed fruit roll-up. Who's the poet now, Sandy? I normally smoke sativas. Indicas just kind of like, they're just like horse tranquilizers, but the one that I have now is a hybrid. Numbness on the lips. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Disappointed in what they did to you and some of the other hardworking, fun employees. Y'all did so much. Can't imagine having to eat or try a whole restaurant's menu. Yeah, Julia stopped that series because it's just like, it's just not good for your body to do that. Or mental health for that reason. But I'm assuming you're talking about my ex-employer. They suck, but Hearst Union finally got their contract ratified. I am so happy to see that. I think everyone worked so hard. The bargaining committee, shout out everyone who's been pulling for the union for the last 4 years. Oh, what an intense journey. But they have their contract now. So the Writers Guild of America is on strike for all the writers, the screenwriters right now. I might be heading out to one of their picket lines next week or the week after next, depends. I was hoping to go to one on Tuesday. The timing works out for me. It's like from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. outside of NBC Universal Studios, I think. But given this period thing, I'm not sure if I should exert myself more than I have to for the next couple of days, but I'm pretty sure that the strikes will go on for quite a while, so there will be other opportunities for me to show up. Yeah, I might bring some cookies. I think it depends. I don't know how big these picket lines are, but they're being held everywhere, so every day there's a picket line. Okay, I'm gonna go offline. I'm gonna go edit some stuff, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me, and unionize your workplace. Unionize your workplace now.